Hey everyone, Mike Wolf here. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Entrepreneurs Making a Difference, where we connect entrepreneurial people from all around the globe in order for them to collaborate and do better, bigger and better things together. So I'd like to welcome to the show today Kate Cobb, who is actually in France. I'm going to read her bio. She's an expert product creation coach who helps women entrepreneurs create products and programs which change people's lives. She's an experienced coach, training professional, and writer who has had her own coaching practice for the past 10 years. During that time, she's helped women start businesses, develop business, and move their business to another level. She's a published author of 8 books, and her book Turning Points went to #1 on the Amazon bestseller list for women in business. Kate has a passion to help women entrepreneurs create the businesses they really want to have, designed to suit their lifestyle and interests. She's currently focusing on helping women create an irresistible free offer fast, which attracts potential clients like a magnet. She calls it a firecracker freebie, as it sets people alight and gets them jumping for joy. She's on a mission to get her clients using this to explode their lists. A Brit who has lived in the south of France for nearly 20 years, Kate is also a passionate choral singer and concert organizer. So welcome to the show, Kate.
Thank you, Mike. Lovely to be here.
It's nice to have you. So I noticed that, they say that the riches are in the niches, and I noticed that you specifically only go after women entrepreneurs. Why is that? What made you decide to do that?
That's a good question because some of the work that I do could obviously be also useful to men as well. I feel that because I'm a coach and I'm a trainer, that it's a very personal business and we relate really well at a personal level to our coaches, hopefully, otherwise they're not perhaps the right people for us. And I work better with women. I understand women entrepreneurs. I've been one for many years now, had my own business for a long time. And I feel that particularly around issues of confidence, that I understand that. I mean, I'm not saying men don't have confidence issues, but I think you deal with them in different ways, and that women can allow those confidence issues to block them and stop them going forwards. So I just think, I'm on the same wavelength. I can help them better than I can help men.
Yeah, well, it seems to be working for you, and congratulations on having that #1 best-selling book. That's fabulous.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great, really great.
Yeah. So what are some of the challenges that you see women having as entrepreneurs? What are some of their biggest hurdles?
I think, well, the confidence one is a big one. I think that I've worked with women in all countries, different ages, and it seems to me that the vast majority, I won't say 100%, but the vast majority of women do somewhere have confidence issues. I remember a couple of years ago, I interviewed women in corporate life to find out a bit more about what they felt their issues were. And I was talking to a woman who was a vice president of an international bank in her 50s, so she was kind of at the top of her particular corporate tree. And she said that she recognized the issue of confidence when this was, like I said, a couple of years ago. At that time, she'd gone into a retirement party for somebody in her division. So she knew all these people, but she got to the door, she looked in the door, and she saw all these men in suits. And she turned around and she walked out. And she said she got a few steps down the corridor and she pulled herself together and said, what's going on here in her head? And she realized that it was still an issue, that she knows these people, she's their boss, but she still had that issue that came up from time to time. Now, of course, she turned around, she went back in, and it was a great party. But it was really interesting to me that, there's women, or as I say, at all levels in all countries. For some reason, we have a lack of self-belief. I would like to think it's changing, but when I work with younger women, it doesn't seem to be. So I think that's something that holds us back. You were asking about sort of blockages, challenges, weren't you, to women moving forward? I think we like to over deliver. Maybe again, it's the thing about self-belief and lack of self-belief. And that means we can get really easily into overwhelm. And I think that, that can be a common thing for all entrepreneurs. But women certainly get into a situation of overwhelm because they can't say no. They want to keep giving more and more. So we need to be careful of that. And I think there's probably a real striving for perfection that certainly comes up with my clients, and it's quite difficult sometimes for us to say, that's good enough. So I try to get my clients to think about striving for excellence in what they do rather than striving for perfection, because none of us are perfect. The world would be a really boring place if we were perfect. So, but it's about doing the best you can do with what you've got available at that particular time. And that to me is about, striving for excellence rather than perfection.
Yeah,
So I think,
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah,
so true. So, it seems to me like there's a lot more women getting into the entrepreneurial world. It used to be very male dominated, and that seems to be flip-flopping. And actually, I would say it's maybe women are overrepresented now. What do you think? Would you say that's true?
and that's why I just love working with entrepreneurs anyway, because I think we contribute so much as a group to the economy. The economy of the world's not in such a great place at the moment, but when you think about entrepreneurs, what they do for themselves, of course, but the people they work with it and they provide employment, and it's certainly true that there are in all countries women entrepreneurs have set up businesses, as I say, helping to employ people, helping the economies in their community. And I'm not surprised, really. I mean, there are all sorts of reasons why people go into business for themselves. But often for women, it's about fitting in with the other areas of their life. And being an entrepreneur, hopefully that means that you have the business you absolutely want to have for yourself. That's certainly where I see one of the things that I can do is helping women really get to the point where they have got the business that they want rather than the business that's designed by somebody else or imposed by somebody else. So yeah, I think it's true. You look at the figures, I think there are certainly in some countries anyway, there's a majority of women entrepreneurs now. So
Yeah, well, it's definitely good to see.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I know, reading your bio, you talk a lot about online products. And so, what do you think the significance of that? Why do you think it's so important to have online products available for people in the, I guess, different service industries?
Yeah, yeah, I tend to work with service professionals, as I would call them. They are coaches, speakers, trainers, people like that who are providing a service to other people, therapists. And they're often people who are used to working one-to-one with people, or certainly at least, a speaker speaks to a group, but it's usually they are there present in person. And that's fine, and that's great for the people who actually get lots of clients that way and have the opportunity to work that way. But of course, what happens is it actually puts a ceiling on what you can achieve because there are only so many hours in the day and there's only one of you. So online products are great because they increase an entrepreneur's earning possibilities, and it gives you a chance to work with people all over the world. I mean, I've worked with people on all continents now, and I couldn't do that if it was just in-person work. So I think that's a fabulous thing as well. Online products also mean that clients can work at their own pace. Some people like to work at midnight. Some people like to work at 1 o'clock in the morning. They're not going to be on an in-person event at that time. But self-study work, work that they do on their own, is a great way for other people to learn as well. So I think it suits both sides. It suits the entrepreneur and it suits the client. It's
Yeah,
really,
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the world is definitely getting to be a smaller place because of the internet, and people do have access, and they want to, obviously everybody's in a different time zone too.
yeah, exactly. Absolutely. It really works for that. And we're so lucky now with the technology that we've got and the developments in technology that, there are so many tools available which don't cost very much or maybe don't cost anything. So, I just think we need to get better at using them, and then we can spread the word about what we do and share with more and more people what we do. So I think it's really important to have at least part of your work as an entrepreneur online. It doesn't mean to say that's all you ever do. For some people, they'll always want to keep the person for one-on-one work, but to have it as part of your marketing portfolio, if you like, I think it's really important. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you talk about your firecracker freebie, and I love that terminology. It's very interesting. Can you give us some examples of I guess what some of your clients I can't say that, firecracker freebies might look like?
Oh, it's got to be, this free offer, we talk about the irresistible free offer, but often it's not irresistible. People still have a little box discreetly at the bottom of their page that says, please sign for my newsletter. I mean, no one's going to do that these days. So many people are out there asking for our emails, for our names, wanting us to sign up for things. What you offer has really got to be something geared towards the people you really want to work with, and something that sets them alight. I mean, that to me, it's like a firecracker that jumps off the page. As I say, it makes people jump in a good way, of course, jump for joy, but it's a real way of connecting with potential clients. And of course, that free offer is so important to us as entrepreneurs to build a business, to build our list, to help to bring in more potential clients for later on down the road. But it's really got to be something that not only the title has got to be really important, the way it looks on the page has got to be really important. These are the things that people don't think about. So I've developed a 7-step system which I use with my clients to actually do this and to do it easily and quickly. Again, it's a block I've found with women clients of mine. They'll set up everything for their business. They get the website and they get the blog going, they get all sorts of things, but they really, for some reason, they get blocked around this free offer. And it's just, it's such an important part of our business. We need one, but it's got to be attractive enough to people, so because they need to think, well, what am I going to get when I give away my email? What am I going to get for it? It's got to be worth something. So it needs to be of value as well, not just just a way to catch people's contact details. So.
Yeah, well, it seems to me like buyers are getting a lot more sophisticated, and they do want a lot more before they're willing to give up their name and email address these days compared to how it used to be.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly, yeah. So it's really got to speak to the person you want to work with. Part of the 7-step system is about looking at who's your ideal client. I mean, we know how important that is as entrepreneurs, but people forget that. They leap to the fact that they think, oh, well, I'm going to write an ebook or I'm going to do an email series. They don't think it through in a kind of logical way that follows. And you've got to have your ideal client in mind. Otherwise, who are you writing for? Who are you making your videos for? So.
Yeah, very, very true.
So.
Yeah. So, as an entrepreneur, was there a book that really inspired you, or some other individual that really inspired you? Who was your biggest influence?
Oh, my biggest influence, I have to say, was my mother. Hands down, the person who influenced me most. She was an amazing woman. My father died when I was quite young, and I had a sister, and she had to go out to work and create a life for all of us. She was just amazing. Always had energy, always had life, always had time for other people. At 83, she was learning new things in life. So that's, yeah, far and away my biggest influence, I have to say.
Yeah, well, it's always good to be a lifelong learner, and I think that's what really separates the most successful people from the less successful. We're always consuming information and trying to learn to better ourselves.
And isn't that the most wonderful thing about life, that you've never learned it all? There's always something new. There's always something else you can learn. I think it's just, fantastic. And with the internet, of course, there's the access to information. It's just all there. So no excuse not to keep learning.
Well, that's for sure. There's definitely an abundance of information available these days, and I mean, when I was younger, I mean, this would have been, this is science fiction, the lives that we're leading right now. Who would have ever thought, what a profound impact the internet's had on all our lives.
Absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
just the fact that I'm in Canada right now and you're in France, and we're able to communicate and collaborate and share information and put it on put it up for other people to see. I mean, it's just unreal when you think about it.
Yeah,
And we
fantastic.
take it for granted now.
Yeah, we do, absolutely, and perhaps we shouldn't, but yeah. Yeah, and all the people that you've interviewed and all the stories that you've managed to spread through your series of interviews, it's fantastic. Wonderful.
Oh, it's amazing. I feel very grateful every day that I get to do this. I
Yeah,
feel so
yeah,
fortunate.
yeah.
So let me ask you this. Obviously, the show is called Entrepreneurs Making a Difference. Is there a certain cause or something that you really stand for or believe in, or something you'd like to change on this planet?
Oh, I think it probably is for all entrepreneurs, not just women, that once you make a decision to have your own business, to go out there and help a certain set of people, to do it to the maximum, but to create the business that you really want. Because I think by that, if we are, as individuals, if we're fulfilled, if we're happy in what we're doing, if we're passionate about what we do, then that rubs off on other people, and they will see that, they will be motivated by that. All the work I've done throughout my whole career has been about empowering others. And that's where I'm most comfortable. I just love other people to be in the limelight. I love to play a part in that, but I don't particularly want the glory for it. But to have the opportunity to help other people to be empowered and to achieve what they really want to achieve, you know, we each of us are unique, and we all of us. I mean, I believe absolutely, yes, we all have a unique part to play in this life, on this planet, at this time. And when people can connect with what that really is and really find that, then that's just fantastic. So I just urge everyone to try to connect with that passion, try to get to that place where they're living the life and filling that little space. It feels to me like a jigsaw, that we're all parts of a huge jigsaw, and each piece is unique. When you find the shape of your piece and can put it into the jigsaw of the world, then I mean that just creates an amazing picture for everybody.
Yeah, very well said. So, in what modalities do people work with you? Do you work with people one on one, or do you? How do you work with them?
Yeah, everything really. I work. I have obviously I have my own coaching practice, so I work with individuals, usually by Skype or by telephone. I don't work face to face with people too much these days. I work with groups as well, mainly on business development, but it inevitably also gets into personal development areas. Obviously, I have online products, particularly around business topics, but things like confidence building, etc. The Firecracker freebie you mentioned is a boot camp style of program. So I'll work with people virtually over an intensive period of time. And I do that as well around creating other products like writing an ebook or writing a book, or designing and delivering an online program. I have a membership program, so people who want to work with me over a longer period of time work on a monthly basis on different issues. So, you know, it covers everything really, from one to one to designing self-study programs that people can, as I say, do at midnight on the other side of the world.
Yeah, well, that's great. So, I know I was noticing your bio. You're a choral singer and concert organizer, so you have a very diverse list of talents. So, what are some of your other passions?
Oh, well, singing is definitely a big passion of mine. I mean, it's something that, and in the south of France, it's an interesting area because obviously I'm a Brit, you know, I'm not from here, I'm from London. And in England, as I think in the States as well, the choral tradition is quite different. In the south of France, it's more allied to, we're very close to Italy, and it's much more an operatic tradition. So it's quite different. So to find a good choir down here is quite difficult, which is really why I've set them up myself. I'm not the artistic uh, influence by any means, but I do the organising. So that's really important for me. And then it's, you know, enjoying being here, enjoying being in the south of France is a fantastic place to be. So
Yeah,
the
it is
life,
definitely a beautiful part of the world for sure.
absolutely, absolutely. Getting as much out of life as I can.
Yeah, so um, the show goes so fast, but I guess, find out how can people get a hold of you? How can they work with you?
Okay, well, I have a website called katecobb.com, inevitably, I guess. I have different websites as well and different Facebook pages, but if people look up Kate Cobb and katecobb.com, then most of my things are on there for business women. I have a Facebook page which is called Kate Cobb, the online product coach. I have to think about that, something like that.
Mhm.
Online product coach. I'll tell you. You could perhaps add it when you send out the details of the interview. Um, it's probably best to contact through those things rather than phone or Skype, but you know those are all possibilities. But if
Okay,
people
well
want
that
to about me, absolutely, on on that website, there are my contact details. So yeah.
Okay, well that sounds great. Well, I want to thank you for being here with us, Kate. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, and hopefully you'll inspire a lot of female entrepreneurs out there, and I'm sure even some of the men watching. I know that I'm inspired and learned a lot myself.
Thank you, Mike. It's been great, really great to talk to you, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak to you.
No, an absolute pleasure. So thanks again, Kate, and thank you, our viewers, for tuning in to another edition of Entrepreneurs Making a Difference. And I look forward to seeing you soon in the next episode.